You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
You're tuned in to Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network.
Welcome back to Building Your Empire with SophieZo, hosted on the Word of Mom Media Network. This is Sophie Zolman, the owner and founder of FMD Strategic Partners and the host of the show. Today, we're talking about something that's probably crossed your mind when you watch other businesses navigate market changes. Why some companies seem completely unshakable even when everything around them is shifting, while others get knocked off course by the smallest disruption. It's not luck, and it's definitely not accident. It's intentional design. So imagine watching two financial advisory firms during a major market shift. The first firm had built their entire client acquisition strategy around one primary channel, let's say networking events and referral partnerships. When economic conditions changed and those networking opportunities dried up, their new client pipeline virtually disappeared overnight. Suddenly, they're scrambling to figure out new ways to reach prospects, learning unfamiliar marketing channels under pressure, and watching competitors gain ground while they're trying to rebuild. Meanwhile, the second financial advisory firm barely missed a beat. When their traditional networking slowed down, their email campaigns continued generating qualified leads. When referrals decreased, their content marketing attracted new prospects. When market uncertainty made people hesitate about meetings, their online community provided ongoing value and relationship building. They had multiple streams working simultaneously, so no single disruption could derail their growth. But here's what's really interesting. It wasn't that the second firm was just lucky or naturally better at marketing. They had made intentional decisions to build what I call marketing resilience, systems designed to adapt and thrive regardless of changing conditions. They worked with a fractional marketing department to create frameworks that could flex with market changes rather than break under pressure. 6 months later, the difference was dramatic. The first firm was still struggling to replace their lost marketing channels, while the second had actually strengthened their market position by capitalizing on opportunities others missed during the disruption. This scenario plays out across every industry during times of change. The businesses that stay ahead aren't necessarily the biggest or most established. They're the ones that built adaptive marketing systems before they needed them. So let's talk about the first key strategy that market leaders use. They diversify across platforms and channels so no single shift can derail them. This isn't about being everywhere at once. It's about strategic diversification that creates stability. Think about what typically happens when a healthcare practice builds their growth around one primary marketing approach. Maybe they've become really successful with social media advertising, or they've built their practice primarily through physician referrals, or they depend heavily on their website for lead generation. When that channel faces disruption, algorithm changes, relationship shifts, or technical issues, that entire growth engine stalls. What market leaders understand is that diversity creates durability. They build multiple streams of client attraction that work together but can also function independently. When one channel experiences challenges, others continue generating results. When market conditions favor certain approaches over others, they can shift emphasis without starting from scratch. But here's what many businesses miss about channel diversification. It's not about spreading yourself thin across every possible option. It's about strategically selecting complementary channels that serve your ideal clients through different touch points and at different stages of their decision journey. Think about your own marketing mix. How dependent are you on any single channel or approach for generating new business? What would happen to your client pipeline if your most effective marketing channel suddenly became less effective? How quickly could you adapt if market conditions changed the way your ideal clients prefer to engage? The thing many service providers miss about building marketing resilience is that it requires intentional planning, not reactive scrambling. A fractional marketing department excels at creating this strategic diversification, identifying which channels complement each other, and building integrated systems that create stability through variety. Now imagine a legal practice that's built most of their growth around search engine optimization. Their fractional marketing department might help them develop complementary channels, perhaps thought leadership content that builds authority, email nurturing that maintains relationships, and strategic partnerships that create referral opportunities. Each channel reinforces the others while providing independent value, creating a marketing ecosystem that's much more resilient than any single approach. By strategically diversifying your marketing channels, you create stability that allows you to thrive regardless of changing market conditions or platform disruptions. The second key strategy is investing in marketing assets they control rather than depending entirely on external platforms. And this is where many businesses unknowingly create vulnerability by building their entire presence on platforms they don't own. Picture a wellness practice that's built their entire client base through social media platforms. They've invested years creating content, building followers, and generating engagement. Their business depends on these platforms continuing to work the way you currently work. But what happens when algorithms change? When platform policy change? When new competitors enter? When the platform itself faces challenges or changes direction? Market leaders understand the difference between renting attention and owning it. While they certainly use external platforms strategically, they also invest heavily in building assets they control completely. Email lists of engaged prospects, content libraries that demonstrate their expertise, and communities where they can communicate directly with their audience without intermediaries. What makes owned assets particularly powerful is how they compound over time. Your email list grows stronger with each valuable communication. Your content library becomes more comprehensive and useful. Your community becomes more engaged and valuable to members. These assets work for you continuously, regardless of external platform changes. Consider how this applies to your business. What percentage of your client relationship depends on external platforms versus direct communication? How much of your marketing effectiveness would survive if your primary social platform changed its algorithm or policies? How are you building assets that you control completely? The thing many service providers miss about owned assets is that they're not just backup plans. They're often more effective than external platforms for building deep, lasting client relationships. A fractional marketing department helps you build these assets systematically, creating valuable resources that serve your audience while strengthening your market position. Imagine a consulting practice that's been successful on external platforms but wants to build more resilient marketing. Their fractional marketing department might help them develop a comprehensive email nurturing system that provides ongoing value to prospects, create a content hub that positions them as the go-to resource in their field, and build a community where clients and prospects can connect with their expertise regularly. These owned assets become increasingly valuable over time while reducing dependence on external platforms. By investing in marketing assets you control, you create independence that protects your business from external disruptions while building stronger, more direct relationships with your ideal clients. And the third key strategy, which is where everything comes together, is working with fractional marketing departments to develop flexible, adaptable marketing frameworks. And this goes beyond just having good marketing. It's about having marketing systems designed to evolve with changing conditions. Think about a financial advisory firm that wants to build marketing that can adapt to whatever changes come next. They're not trying to predict specific disruptions, but they want systems that can respond effectively to various scenarios. This requires strategic thinking that goes beyond current tactics to build adaptive capabilities. A fractional marketing department approaches this challenge by creating marketing frameworks rather than fixed strategies. Instead of rigid campaigns that work only under specific conditions, they build systems that can flex and adapt while maintaining effectiveness. They develop messaging that resonates regardless of platform, content approaches that work across channels, and measurement systems that provide insight regardless of changing conditions. What makes this framework approach particularly powerful is how it combines stability with agility. Your core value proposition remains consistent while your tactical execution can adapt to changing circumstances. Your strategic direction stays clear while your implementation methods can evolve with market conditions. Consider how this adaptive framework would transform your marketing resilience. Instead of rebuilding your approach when conditions change, you'd have systems that naturally adapt. Instead of learning new strategies under pressure, you'd have frameworks that guide effective decisions regardless of circumstances. Instead of hoping your current approach continues working, you'd have built-in adaptability that thrives through change. The thing many service providers miss about adaptive marketing is that it's not about being reactive to every change. It's about building proactive capabilities that can respond effectively to various scenarios. A fractional marketing department excels at this systematic approach, creating frameworks that maintain effectiveness while providing flexibility for changing conditions. Imagine a healthcare practice that wants marketing systems capable of adapting to regulatory changes, competitive pressures, or shifting patient preferences. Their fractional marketing department might develop flexible messaging frameworks that maintain compliance while allowing tactical adaptation, content systems that can emphasize different service areas as demand shifts, and measurement approaches that provide insight regardless of changing market conditions. By working with a fractional marketing department to build adaptive frameworks, you create marketing systems that get stronger through change rather than weaker. Now let's talk about how these three strategies work together to create unshakable market position. When you diversify across multiple channels, you create stability that survives disruptions. When you invest in assets you control, you build independence that reduces external dependencies. When you develop adaptive frameworks, you create systems that evolve effectively with changing conditions. Together, these strategies transform your marketing from vulnerable to resilient, from reactive to proactive, from fragile to anti-fragile. Consider how this integrated approach might transform a service provider's market position. Their fractional marketing department would first identify strategic channel diversification that creates stability without spreading resources too thin. They'd then build owned assets that strengthen over time while reducing platform dependence. Finally, they'd create adaptive frameworks that maintain effectiveness regardless of changing market conditions. The resulting marketing systems become more resilient and effective over time rather than more vulnerable. Now, this brings us to something I often hear from service providers. This sounds like a lot of complexity. Won't this make our marketing harder to manage? The reality is quite the opposite. Well-designed, resilient marketing systems actually become easier to manage over time because they're built to handle change rather than break under pressure. The initial investment in building an adaptive system pays dividends every time market conditions shift. Think about implementation in practice. When you work with a fractional marketing department to build marketing resilience, they typically begin by assessing your current vulnerabilities and dependencies. They then develop strategic diversification plans, build owned asset development timelines, and create adaptive frameworks that guide decision-making. The result is marketing that becomes stronger and more stable over time. The beauty of this approach is how it transforms your relationship with market changes. Instead of fearing disruptions, you become confident in your ability to adapt. Instead of hoping current conditions continue, you build capabilities that thrive through change. Instead of watching competitors gain ground during disruptions, you capitalize on opportunities others miss. Your business deserves marketing that strengthens your position regardless of changing conditions. Your growth should accelerate through market changes, not stall because of them. Your marketing systems should provide competitive advantage through adaptability, not vulnerability through rigidity. Alrighty, that's all I've got for you today. Until next time, remember that market leadership isn't about avoiding change. It's about building marketing systems that use change as fuel for even stronger competitive position. Ready to build unshakable marketing systems with strategic fractional marketing leadership? Schedule your digital success session at www.sophiezocalendar.com today. And now I want to thank you for stopping by on the Word of Mom Media Network. It is time to close this episode out with our theme song from the Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.